Hi, Matt Richards from TOTM Migration here, and this is Gavin Stocks. You can probably tell that this is take 437. Before coronavirus was around, Gavin and I spent quite a bit of time working with a business called Techs on the Move, which was all about bringing skilled automotive tradespeople down to Australia. We did that for people from all over the world, from all different walks of life, using tons of different visas and facing any number of different issues and challenges along the way. The whole time we were running Techs on the Move, we had a business underneath that called TOTM Migration, which was actually responsible for taking care of all of the migration work that kept the thing chugging along. With the coronavirus now very much curtailing our usual business, Techs on the Move, we're using TOTM Migration to reach out instead to a whole new group of people that we've not previously offered our migration services to, because we think we stand in a great position to help people with a bunch of challenging issues.
So when things go wrong, our laws are punitive, draconian and complex. And so having a strategy at the centre of that is critical if you're wanting to get a successful outcome. It may well be that you're anticipating difficulties in making a visa application due to perhaps a pre-existing health condition or maybe character issues from the past. It may even be that you've had an overstay at some point in time. Either way, whether you are anticipating some complications or whether you've already reached the point where you have seeking some advice on how to navigate through and find a strategy, this is where you come to us.
Yeah, because really what we'd like to do for standalone migration cases is take on the stuff that a lot of other migration agents don't want to know about. You know, the cases that they would consider to be too hard, too difficult, or maybe even just a little bit too challenging to make any money from. We think that's where we can shine the best. So if you've got a case or if you've got a visa that you're looking to lodge soon that you think is going to be a little bit tricky, or if you've lodged one already and received a request for more information from the Department of Home Affairs, which is an RFI, or even unfortunately you've ended up at the Administrative Appeals Tribunal, AAT, we'd love to hear from you and hopefully help you get through that.
So you may be thinking, don't I need a lawyer? And I guess to answer that question, we'd like to know a little bit more about your situation. There are some subtle differences between migration agents and lawyers. First of all, it's unusual to find a migration lawyer that just specialises in migration law. They may well be working in other areas of the law, such as employment law or business law as well. Migration agents specialise purely in migration. So that's one subtle difference. Another thing to consider is that migration agents are outcome focused. So we want to get a successful outcome and get you your visa. Whereas lawyers usually charge in 6-minute intervals. So depending on how experienced that lawyer is, you may find yourself indeed paying more for somebody's relative inexperience. Another thing to consider is depending on who we're talking to, lawyers will often give regard only to migration law, which is fine if you're at an administrative appeals tribunal. But the Department of Home Affairs specifically give regard to something called migration policy, which is the Department of Home Affairs interpretation of the law. So we take careful, we are awfully careful to ensure that we are focusing on our audience and whether we're referring to migration law or whether we're referring to migration policy.
Yeah, so over the years that Gavin and I have been working in Techs on the Move, we really have always taken pride in our consultation approach. We'd like to learn a lot about the people that we're helping. We want to make sure they understand their situation as well and what sort of outcomes are likely. So we take that approach to TOTM Migration as well, and we'd love to help you out. If you could please jump on our website, fire us off an email introducing yourself and explaining what sort of situation you've got. That would be great. You can get onto that site at totmmigration.com.au. That's TOTM migration.com.au. You're welcome to give us a call as well, of course. Our numbers are all over that website. Hopefully hear from you soon.
Thanks.